Today we are going to discuss about female reproductive system in human beings. This is the reproductive system of human female. In this there are two oval shaped ovaries, two fallopian tubes or oviducts which are funnel shaped, a pear shaped uterus, a cervix and the birth canal vagina. The two ovaries where the ova are formed are located deep in the abdomen of female's body. The ova or eggs are develops in a tiny cellular structures which are present in the ovaries. These tiny cellular structures are called as Graafian follicles. These Graafian follicles at first look like a small bubble-like cellular structures. A single ovum or a single egg develops in these tiny cellular structures after the process cell division, meiosis. When an ovum matured, then this Graafian follicle breaks and ruptures at the surface of the ovary. The egg flushed out from the ovary. This is called as ovulation, and the broken follicle is called as corpus luteum. So after ovulation, this egg enters into widened funnel which having fimbriae of the fallopian tube or oviduct. This fallopian tube extends from the neighborhood of the ovaries to the muscular thick-walled uterus. The fertilization takes place in this fallopian tube. After ovulation, as the egg passes through the fallopian tube, if there is a sperm in the fallopian tube, the fertilization takes place between the egg and sperm. This fertilization of the egg with sperm cell would lead to a formation of a mass or a group of cells. This mass might be growing to a new baby. At the time of fertilization, as the egg passes through the fallopian tube to the uterus, here in uterus we encounter one of the most marvelous control mechanisms that man and other mammal possess. The uterus at the time of fertilization is beautifully adapted to receiving the developing embryo and providing it with food, disposing of its waste materials. Actually, before the ovulation, this uterus is in normal condition. It was very small, its walls are thin, and its supplying of the blood was also very poor. But after ovulation, as the egg passes through the fallopian tube to the uterus, this uterus enlarges and become much larger. The walls of uterus were thick, soft and moist with fluid. At this time, the uterus is just waiting for an embryonic occupant. This egg, after fertilization, the fertilized egg undergoing many divisions as it moves down the oviduct to the uterus. Finally, it reaches the uterus and attaches to the soft tissues of the uterine walls. Once attached, this embryo sinks into the inner uterine walls. This is called as implantation. This is called as implantation. If there is no fertilization takes place in fallopian tube after ovulation, as the egg passes through the fallopian tube, if there is no sperm, there is no fertilization takes place. So the egg, the thick walls of the uterus, including some blood, flushed out through the vagina. This is called as menstrual cycle. So in every 28 days, one egg releases from one of the ovary. This is called as menstrual cycle. This occurs in a cycle manner. Okay, now let us know about the human embryo. This is implanted embryo. Certain cells of embryo formed as structural membranes. Here the embryo is surrounded by some layers. The outermost layer is called as chorion. The outermost layer of the embryo is called as chorion. From the chorion, some finger-like projections are grows into a soft tissues of the uterus, and gradually some pools of blood randomly moving around these finger-like projections in uterine walls. So some tissues of the finger-like projections and adjacent tissues of the uterus make up placenta. So this placenta is formed by the cells of the embryo and the cells of the mother. This placenta formed at around 12 weeks of pregnancy, and it becomes a important structure to nourish the embryo. In normal condition, there is no direct flow of blood from mother to the young one. These two blood circulatory systems are separated by a thin walls which made up of cells that allow an exchange of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients and waste materials by only diffusion. So another layer is amnion. This is formed around the embryo itself. Within the amnion there is a fluid filled cavity. This fluid is called as amniotic fluid. This embryo develops in this fluid filled cavity, which keeps the embryo moist and protecting the embryo from the minor mechanical shocks. Another layer is allantois. This layer generates from the digestive canal of the embryo, and it forms a major part of the umbilical cord, which is a tube-like structure. This umbilical cord contains very important blood vessels that connect the embryo to the placenta. Thus, the embryo develops until it is ready to be born. From the third month of the pregnancy, the embryo is called as fetus. From the third month of the pregnancy, the embryo is called as fetus. The pregnancy lasts on average 9 months or 280 days. This is called as gestation period. So the average length of pregnancy varies by species to species. Now let us know about the childbirth. This is the condition shortly before birth. As pregnancy progresses, the fetus of an embryo grows with certain characters. The uterus increases in diameter. Usually at about 9th month after fertilization, the head of the baby slowly turns down towards the opening of the uterus. At birth, the head usually comes out first, but sometimes the feet comes first. This makes the pregnancy very difficult. So still we do not know much about the mechanism of the childbirth and how it is triggered. The childbirth begins when the layers of the uterine walls starts to rhythmic contract and relax. These are These are felt as labor pains. These are felt as labor pains. The muscular activity of the uterine wall is strong enough to move the baby towards the vagina. A birth canal, that is the towards the vagina, which is the last part of the female reproductive tract. At this stage, the sac amnion, which is formed around the embryo, breaks and the fluid content releases. So this is a good sign for labor is well on its way. Then the contractions of the uterus become stronger and more frequent. Then the baby pushed out into the new world. After the baby is born, the umbilical cord, which is leading from the baby to the placenta, is tied off and cut by the doctors. After the childbirth also, the contractions of the uterus continues until they push the tissues of the placenta, which is normally called afterbirth. So for the first days after the baby is born, a watery fluid like substance called as colostrum accumulates in the mammary glands, which gradually have been enlarging and undergoing transformation. This colostrum is very important to feed this to a newborn baby, and this colostrum is also very important in developing the immune system of the child. So asexual reproduction, as you have learnt earlier, produces the organisms which have normally copies of the single parent, but sexual reproduction produces the organisms have the both characters of both parents, and sexual reproduction makes the organisms to develop characters that would be help them to developing, adapting better to their conditions. So this is the difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. So this is about female reproductive system, human embryo and childbirth. Thank you.